Modern media, using podcasts and taking influence from the creator economy. London Podcast Show 2023 Talk Tips. This talk was called What Can the Intersection Between Podcasting and TV Learn from the Creator Economy? I went to this talk and I'm going to share with you some quick highlights. This talk was about media entities using podcasts effectively and taking influence from the creator economy. And the first thing they mentioned, which I think everyone knows about podcasting, is it's great for community building. They say it's a great way to keep a brand or a franchise in front of mind and to have people conversing and giving feedback about the shows or the films. So that's key in community. The next one was it deepens a connection through podcasts. The Netflix representative gave an example where they had a Stranger Things fiction podcast. A whole new story was created in podcast form and people could stay in the Stranger Things universe by consuming this podcast. And the third thing that they mentioned was that podcasting gives these big media agencies opportunity to share behind the scenes or incredibly niche content for a much lower cost. They don't need to make a documentary. They don't need to do a whole behind the scenes thing. They can interview the stuntmen. They can talk about the props. They can talk about the set design. They can talk about the script writing. And it's really quick and easy to jump in, interview these people with or without video. They all do video. They're massive media companies. But it allows them to create this content really quick, really short. It doesn't have to be a duration or a fixed sort of production plan. They can just make it really quickly, get it out there. If it's a hit, it's a hit. If people want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't. It didn't cost that much. So that's great access to niche content and behind the scenes. Flipping it on its head, sort of taking the consumer out of it, for media entities, what do media entities like Netflix get out of podcasts? Well, one of the things that came up was it's a great way to find emerging talent. You can launch a podcast doing X and that entity, Sky, Netflix, Amazon, you could do a companion podcast and you're just doing it in your own time. But young talent, new talent, I should say, can get found through podcasting. The other thing that they love is audience feedback. They can look at how a podcast has performed, they can get the comments, they can see how it's being viewed and retention time. They can see what people feel and think about their shows. Now, traditional media like television, film, newspapers and stuff like that, they don't have that bi-directional engagement. Podcasting and new media allows them to do that. And the final thing was they touched on official and unofficial content. Official content is great because a brand like Netflix own it, they can create the content, they get the engagement, they're creating value for their audience. But the subject of unofficial podcasts were really interesting because it allows someone to talk about the content sort of with no holds barred, right? They can say whatever they want. They can engage with the audience and the audience can say whatever they want. It can be a bit raw and another great way for a huge media entity to learn about their content and their audience through someone else. Someone else is doing all the hard work. So that's what we learn about modern media, using podcasts and taking influence from the creator economy.